morning LinkedIn, good morning Facebook, good morning YouTube, good morning the world. Coming up on today's show, we have the incredible Mr. Thomas Bassett from All Asset Fitness. And we also have the man, the legend, Mr. Zafran Khan from FSB. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, mate. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Good morning to everyone out there who's watching. Great to see you today at the show. So much going on, Ed, isn't there?
Oh, we're busy. And how nice that it's not raining in Wiltshire. It's sunny.
Yes, always good. Always good.
Feeling good about it. Yeah, we're doing very well indeed. Actually, at present, we're motoring along, which is really quite fun to see.
Yes, plenty of new members joining the Cobra Club. It's great to see new people coming on board, and just going from strength to strength at the moment. So if you want to get involved, come along to hit that banner, Ed, thecobraclub.co.uk, where you can find out a little bit more. I want to say a quick hello to Hannah. Friday, great business chat. The sun is out. What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for?
Life is good. Life is very good. Good to see you, Hannah. But anyway, Ed, we also have a little bit of news. So I'm going to roll at this little VT. And when we come back, we've got some breaking news. What's the story, Ed?
What's the story? Well, probably 3 years ago, Andrew and Ed got together and we got a service together called Operation Baseline. And we've relaunched Operation Baseline, which is you and I helping people convert more sales, attract more leads, and do far better when it comes to promoting and selling their business. So a lot of sales agencies out there will talk to you about Google Ads and they'll talk to you about LinkedIn and everything else, but they don't really show you how to convert those leads and how to get a regular pipeline and how to regularly get business coming into your business. That's what we do. So we are an SMMA, a sales and marketing, social media marketing agency. And if you want more sales for your business, more products, selling, come and talk to us. Products and services. We're the people who can actually change your business around and make it happen.
Fantastic. Let's make it happening.
Yeah. Make it happen. That's my breaking news. It's my breaking news this morning.
That's exciting.
Yeah. It's fab. But and we'll have a one-to-one with you and have a little business review with you, which we'll do free of charge. So if you're interested, give us a shout. If you want to make more money and you want to start the new year with sales coming into your business, let's get a pipeline sorted out. Let's work on it, and let's actually talk to do it.
Yeah, super exciting stuff. Looking forward
Really
to the growth of that agency. So anyway, let's crack on, Ed. What we're going to do is we are going to roll a VT. We have the Property Club for any of you property people out there, property construction, whether you're marketing to property people or you're supplying finance. The Property Club is happening next Friday at 10 a.m. So I'll roll this VT, and when we come back in the room, Mr. Thomas Bassett will be with us to talk about fitness and your goals and challenges, etc. for the new year. So here we go. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, Tom.
Morning.
Great to
How are
see
you,
you
sir?
today, and welcome to the Gritty Business Show. I didn't do your little introduction, but you're essentially working as a group coach and a fitness consultant.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into that? Have you always loved sort of fitness? Where, does this start from an early age?
Yeah, from as far back as I can remember. Probably from 12 years old, I had my dad and my rugby coach way back when, amazing guy called Mr. Turton, and they just gave me some really good lifelong advice, and that was always be fit and healthy and always move forward. And that's just lived with me ever since. And that's all I've ever done is I've just tried to remain an active and healthy lifestyle to my capabilities, to my lifestyle, to my personal victories and my personal losses. I've always tried to remain active throughout that and always try and move forward.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting in terms of, mindset. And as we're on sort of LinkedIn on the sort of business channel, sort of, that there's this line that a healthy and happy sort of business leader is more likely to be successful. It can be obviously personal life as well, but keeping active is good for the soul, isn't it?
It is. It's a cleanser, and depending on what it is you're after, you can use it to transform your mind and your body to somewhere else. You can for a short time you can be Superman in the gym, and then you go back to your normal family or normal life. But you can transform yourself, and it gives you freedom to explore, to set your own boundaries. There is no ceiling with fitness and physical activity. It's only what outside sources sometimes affect. Sometimes life happens, but if you can maintain a level of physical activity, there isn't a stop. There isn't a this is your limit. There's always something you can try to get more of.
It must be a twofold thing, then, isn't it? Because if you are not into fitness, i.e., Ed, and you would like to get into fitness, there's that physical journey of becoming fitter, but also it's a mental journey too. So do you help with both aspects?
Absolutely. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
And you need to make the mental shift. You need to have that transition approach to doing something. It's very, very easy in our lovely warm caves to look out the window and go, "Oh, it's a bit wet and dark out there. I won't bother."
Yeah.
That's the best time to have that mental shift, because when you go out in the wet and the cold, you're more likely to go out in the warm and the dry. So don't put a stopper on it. Don't put a New Year's resolution on it. I really don't agree with New Year's resolutions at all, because they're only 3 or 4 days, and they're always a promise with a friend over a bottle of champagne. They're always that. Oh, next week we'll start walking. Let's just finish this, Christmas dinner. They're rubbish. Absolute rubbish. You can always start physical activity whenever you're ready to, but you do need to make that mental shift first.
And do you help people with that?
Yeah, I've been doing physical training I'm 38 now, so I've been doing this probably since I was 30 years. I've been doing some level of activity. I've been teaching it and coaching it for the best part of 20. And I've had a huge passion for the psychology of fitness and activity and wellness with my own personal experiences. And now I'm trying to help people with that side of it. And because I can relate to both sides, it gives me a lot more empathy with people who are trying to get into physical activity, because it can be quite daunting, and there's so much noise around what you can do when you watch these influencers on Instagram and YouTube and all these other places, but you don't know their story. Their story's 5-second reel on Instagram. You don't know how long it's taken them to get there, but people assume, oh, I do that 15-minute workout, I'll get that six-pack. You won't.
Yeah, it takes time. And I guess with a lot, it's a lot of mindset, isn't it? And I suppose the hardest thing is to start. And but I suppose having someone like yourself with All Aspect Fitness having that sort of coach or group setting where you're part of a little community of the same like-minded people, it's got to be a positive thing. Would you agree, or how does...
It really is individual. I'm someone who can just go out and I can just train. My wife's the same. You both met Lizette. She can, like this morning, she can just go out the house and go for a swim. She doesn't need to have somebody there to meet. If you are somebody who needs an accountability partner, because it's a great way of holding yourself to somebody else, as long as they are truthful, honest, and have integrity, then you can bounce off that person when you're struggling. Group environments work very well. Some people like an outdoor group environment. Some people like a gym class environment. Some people like an online class environment, because there's just that accountability of it. There's that we're all in it together ethos of we're all in the tired lactic acid phase. We're all breathing heavily. We're all struggling. We're all suffering. And I use those words gently because sometimes you can suffer more than you realize without doing much, or you can not suffer when you're doing the hardest work I've ever done. Depends on your mindset again.
It's similar to the Cobra Club, actually. If you relate that through to business, it's exactly the same. It's everybody starts a day wanting to close the next deal, but the mental psychology of it is quite difficult. To have accountability partners and people you can talk to changes your perception.
And it can be
very easy. Sorry, it's very easy to do nothing.
It is. It's incredibly easy. And the trouble with physical activity is that you have to do something. With in parallel to business, most people generally just sit on a laptop or a computer or on their phone at the kitchen table or dining room table or on the sofa, on a bus. They're doing business, but they can do it anywhere, and you've always got that availability to do it in a nice coffee shop. If you want to, run a 5K charity run for an important charity, your friend or your mum who's passed or dad's passed away from, you want to run 5K, you've got to go out in the rain. You've got to go out in the wind, because you just can't do it sat on a sofa. You have to take action. And the nice thing with that is, in parallel to business again, you can then clear your mind, have that shower, have that reset button, and then you can be more productive in your job, knowing you've done that physical aspect. And it could just be a brisk 20-minute walk. It doesn't have to be string. It hasn't got to be a HIIT workout or something, where you can be left like a dribbling mess on the floor.
It is interesting. I was watching a motivational tape, as you do, on LinkedIn, and it was and I wish I could credit him, but forgive me, I'm not saying it's my story, it's his story, but he was a general in the American Army. And he says that they drill it into the Marines, etc., to make their bed. And it's the first thing they have to do, and they have to make it perfectly. And he says, and what that teaches you in life is, if you start the day doing something that is positive and you have done well, you then move on to the next job with a positive mindset. So to start the day thinking, I don't want to go and get fit, actually is a negative way of starting the day, and that negativity can continue on. If you start the day and face that demon and actually make it happen, you've started the day with success. And if you start every day with success, that drifts through, you must find that with your students, with the people in your courses.
Yeah, it's I was just thinking as you were saying that I've heard that reel, and it's a very powerful one, and it can set you up so well. I mean, you there's so much information available, and my ethos of all aspect fitness is simple and effective. It's just I try and make it as simple as possible to make it as effective as possible. I do meditation. I attempt meditation, and I can sit there for 20 minutes and just be like, oh, I'm just thinking of fish and chips now. So it's, but what I try and do is I go, okay, so why did I think like that, and what's the purpose of that thought? It's the same every morning. I've actually found that I go out with my dog in the morning. It's always about sort of 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I talk out loud. I almost do a morning prayer. And I set my intention that way. So it's kind of like making my bed, but in my mind, I'm making my mental bed. I'm going out saying, today I need to do this and this. Today I would like to have the strength to be able to cope with this individual. Or today I just want to have 2 conversations and leave someone in the positive mindset. Whether it's any value to me, it doesn't matter. It's just if I can have 2 conversations with people and leave them in a positive mindset, and they can then go on and do more things, whatever it is, then that's a good thing. So I'm mentally making my bed every morning by doing this.
And you can't really fail at that sort of thing. You can't fail.
No.
Making your bed, you're unlikely to fail. Getting out and going for a walk with a dog, you can't fail. You know, even if you only walk to the end of the garden path and back again, you've done it.
Yeah,
so,
and the dog's happy.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's that success that you start the day with, and it's a mental tick. You know, I've succeeded. I've done something.
Absolutely.
That sets your day up much better.
Right. Yeah, but if you could try this, and if you want to make it really hard on yourself, just as an example, every time you think, "Oh, I can't bother to go to the gym today," close your business laptop for the entire day. Stop it, because if you can't do that one simple task for yourself, then why should you deserve to do a task for other people when you can't live by your own standard? So turn your laptop off and just say, right, I'm not going to go to the gym today. I can't bother. And you just go, I've got to turn my laptop off now. I've got to stop work because I'm not in a fit state to work. Why would I put my negativity and my ideas of, oh, you should do this, this, and this, and this, but when you're actually not doing anything you're saying either? And you can work that parallel. And once you stop getting paid, believe me, you'll start lifting that laptop up a lot quicker in the morning because you'll be more active. Think of physical activity, think of your weight loss, think of your strength gains, think of your whatever it might be that you're aiming for. Think of it in the same way as earning money. If I do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to get paid 1, 2, and 3. If I'm active 3-4 times a week, I'm going to get paid in strength, weight loss, confidence, mental health, better cholesterol, healthy heart, healthier lungs, muscle conditioning. The list is endless.
Yeah.
With business, it's financial, it's money, it's materialistic. You can always make money. Try getting another heart. Try getting another pair of lungs. Try getting your legs back. You know, you can't get that back.
Yep.
It's gone. So your start of your day needs to be me first and front. I am the first person I look after. You know, obviously I've got 2 children and I've got a dog. My walk and my dog, I'm ticking 2 boxes there. I'm back with my children unless I'm working. I'm back with my children, make sure they're okay. But the first thing I do is I have my cup of coffee. I sit for 5 or 10 minutes. I just concentrate on my breathing and I make my mental bed. And I go for a walk with a dog and I'm still talking out loud. I'm setting my standards and then I follow through. I don't, sit there thinking of things and doing other things. I make sure my routine works because then I can pass that routine on to somebody else because it is very simple and it's very effective.
So just going to, in terms of sort of the services that you offer, Tom, is it online? You're a group coach. Is that in the real world? Is that because obviously a lot of things have moved online? Everything's you can move around the virtual world very quickly without moving your legs these days. So have you adapted into that market, or are you still sort of location based?
I'm hybrid. So in the sense that I will do face-to-face personal training. I'll do face-to-face consultations. But my main environment is the online training world because a lot of people work from home now. So I've got people from Bristol up over to sort of Cardiff and Newport. So I train those people around there. And it works really well. And I train most mornings. And there's normally 2 or 3 sessions on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And there's evening sessions as well on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's only 3 days, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are your days to do your own activity, whatever it might be. And they are classes that just get you going. They're there, they're varied, and I program them so you follow a proper structured program. I also visualize coach, so I can give you feedback instantly on what you're doing, and I can correct your form. So you get that almost that one-to-one touch, but in a group environment.
Yeah.
And the consulting is much more kind of whatever works, basically text messaging or Facebook or face-to-face. That's quite an interesting one because I've got about 6 people I'm talking to at the moment who they all have personal trainers. and they all go to the gyms, or they have an outdoor training company, or they're doing something else, or they're in a group environment of things, but they're talking to me about other things. It's all fitness related. Sometimes it's just what I was talking to them last night. One's just trying to build up his physical strength. So we just run through his programs. He's got a program from a PT, and the program's good. It's a nice program. But he's just a bit lost with it. So I'm just touching base with him once a week. We touch base, we go through his program, we go how he's feeling, what he's up to, what life challenges has he got. And then we reset it and we refocus it and we jig it about. My other client, she lost her mojo, as she says. So we had a good hour discussion about why she's lost her mojo.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you get people who, because each day you're moving forwards, but you don't always see that change yourself because it's on a daily basis. So over a month, you may not see the change. And sometimes you need people to point out the change, to say, actually, a month ago, you couldn't walk to the post box without being out of breath, and now you're jogging around your village. It's people don't see it because it's a daily thing, not a they can't compare that back to their timeline. No, that's why sales, to be honest with you.
There's so many parallels between just looking after yourself physically and mentally to running a business. The only problem is we forget to look after ourselves while we're running a business when the business suffers, as you pointed out earlier. And with the consultancy, there's an accountability to it as well, because I'll ask your gym routines. I'll say, when do you train? What nights do you train on? And sort of 20 to 9 o'clock, you'll get a little text saying, how was training? And it just means that I've got to explain to Tom now why I didn't go to the gym. Why I didn't go for that run. And I've got one lady who's doing an event in June. So we're working on her running stuff. She's got a PT, and we're working on her running stuff. And I've said, well, don't run indoors, run outdoors. Okay, but when you go for a run, let me know when. Right, I'll give you a call. I'll pop you a message. And I'll have a conversation with you before the run or after the run. You let me know, depending on the time. And we'll have a conversation about it. And then if you haven't been for that run, you've got to give me a good reason why you haven't been for that run. So it holds her accountable. And this is all monthly. So it's not every day. It's kind of like, once a week, I'll just touch base. If I haven't heard of you for 2 weeks, you'll get a little message. How are you? What's going on? What's happening? And there's no threat. There's no threat there. I'm not going to yell at you. It's much more, come on, you said this to me. I'm here to support you to get there. And after you get there, then we'll talk about the next bit. Let's get you here first.
It's keeping them accountable to their own goals and actions, isn't it? That's essentially it. But say, obviously it's a new year. And I want to release the old me, I want to leave that go, let that go. So what would be, Tom, your top 3 tips on how to move forward and set some new life standards? But don't answer just yet, because we're going to roll this BT and we're going to give you 9 seconds to think about it. Okay, so here we go.
Okay. Life's an adventure. Try things, do things, try something completely different. If you're struggling with something you experienced last year and it left a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, don't hold that against the rest of everything else, because it was just an experience that you had. It was an adventure you took. It was just exploring new avenues. So if you, rather than think, I really hate running, just go, well, actually, I really hated running with this person because they ran too fast for me. I explored that avenue. I wasn't ready for it. I'll start somewhere else. I'll start new. So it changed the language in your mind. Finding a physical life ambition. This is a bit of a wild concept because you have to do a little bit of visualization for this. This is a business question as well. I know this is a business question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? How much money do you want to make in 10 years' time? Do you want to be a CEO, or do you want to just be, a sole trader who's living comfortably? Do you want to be able to play with your grandkids when they're older? Do you want to be able to walk your dog in 5 years' time around a coastal path? because not everybody's going to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jay Cutler, Eddie Hall, Mo Farah, Paula Ratcliffe, X, Y's and Z's. Not everybody's going to be that, and not everybody wants to be that. But everybody should want to be as physically active as they are capable of. So that might just mean that, you never want to be able to not walk 10 kilometers in, 2 hours over a coastal terrain from pub to pub. That might just be an ambition of yours, that you just want to be able to walk every day, and it doesn't matter what the weather's doing, you can just do it. And in 10 years' time, you're still doing it. It's having that life ambition, that life goal of actually doing something that you're very passionate about and you enjoy a lot. And my last one would be try something completely new and completely different and completely away from everything you've ever done. Because if you can have a broader range of physical activity, you're more likely to hone in on areas you enjoy more of.
That makes sense.
Finding the joy of physical activity. I'm very aware of using physical activity, not fitness, because they are two different things in my language. If you can have a broad range of physical activity, you'll have more joy in everything you do, because you'll have more energy and more strength and more cardio and more health and clearer mindset, because you'll breathe better, you'll have more oxygen, so you'll feel better for it. And you can explore new things. Indoor climbing is a passion of mine. I've not done it a couple of years because of family and situations, but I love indoor climbing. I love outdoor climbing. I used to do lead climbing over in Wales. It was amazing. I've just not done it for years, but my plan is that sometime this year, I am going to start climbing again because I really enjoy it. I've done a lot of running in the past. I enjoy running, but I've done enough of it. I'm quite happy to let that one go and just try something I used to really enjoy but haven't done for a long time.
Is that your own personal goal this year to climb?
Yeah, I want to get back into indoor climbing and back into outdoor climbing. I used to live in Gloucester, and the warehouse in Gloucester is an amazing facility. And I learned to climb there with some phenomenally good climbers. The guy who set it up was an internationally recognized outdoor climber. So it was an amazing venue, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. It was so much fun. It wasn't hard. And that's the golden nugget. If it's difficult, it's wrong. Because if you have to literally force yourself to do something, the passion's wrong. If the passion's wrong, the activity's wrong. If the activity's wrong, you're not going to get the right results. To get the wrong results, your mindset starts to drop. It's the same in business. If you're not doing something you're passionate about and that you love, it turns into work. And most people who work, they don't enjoy it. They do the minimal. And it's kind of like, you've got to find your passion somewhere. And you can work to pay the bills, have a passion somewhere else. Even if it's not business, because I'm not a business person like you guys. I'm a people person. Find that passion that makes everything else worthwhile doing, because it just makes life that bit easier. Because life is an adventure. You've got to enjoy it, because you only get one of them.
So Tom, talking about obviously, a place to start, you're doing something at the Cobra Club, which is obviously leads on from this conversation. So I'm going to show you this slide, and maybe you could talk us about what you're doing, when it is, etc., etc. So there it is. So you're going to be running some sessions, aren't you?
I am. So Mondays at 10:30 till 11. It's not a businessy thing. So again, I'm not a business person. This isn't about business. This is about you as an individual setting your 4 pillars. And what I mean by 4 pillars is, what's your future? What's your life non-negotiables? What is it you always want to be able to do? It might be swimming, it might be indoor climbing. What's your health like? Are you going to look at your nutrition? Do you need to make amendments? Do you need to change things? Third one is mindset. And I love this phrase now. Are you making your bed in the morning? And that's going to be my new phrase. Are you making your bed in the morning, your mental bed? Are you making that mental bed? And 4, are you following through the accountability? Are you giving yourself the accountability, or are you using a friend, an enemy, me, your dog, whatever? Who are you going to use as your accountability? And these classes will be run on my own timetable. So you're joining my classes in the morning. But on the Mondays at 10:30, it will be, let's get these accountabilities laid out. Let's get these 4 pillars laid out. And I will teach you and I will show you, because the best form of education is free education, is have it. And I will give you my best all the time.
Fantastic. I mean, it
Fantastic.
sounds good.
That's great.
Just get yourself going, you know. Again, if you haven't done fitness for a while, you know, you might have been really fit 5 years ago and then just let it all slide, you know. It's sort of like the perfect opportunity to get that mindset and get back in with the assistance of Tom to just to flip that switch in your mind, really, isn't it? And then obviously come to Tom's classes once a week just to keep yourself accountable, etc., etc. So I think that's fantastic sort of offering there, Tom, for Cobra Club members, for sure. And I think it's just brilliant. Don't you, Ed?
Yeah, no, fantastic. The right state of mind. And you are good at business, because that's exactly what business people do, just in a different.
It's not about business, but you know, in my mind, it is about business, because it goes back to that thing. If you can be healthy and happy, you're going to be more successful. So even though you're not talking about business, it has that direct knock on for business people, that they feel more motivated, they're more likely to contact that person or close a deal or whatever it is, or make that change in there, just because they're feeling better about themselves.
So many people think that a goal has to be, you know, I'm earning nothing now, by the end of the year I want to be a millionaire. And they set themselves goals that are probably unachievable. There's aspirations, but a goal should be something that you can actually achieve, because otherwise you'd be forever failing. So every goal that you set, and that's why I do the make your bed thing, and actually it's exactly what I do. Every morning I do it, and I feel good about it, and I move on, and that good feeling progresses through to the next thing that you do. And if I set myself a goal of, I don't know, I'm going to do a 5K jog, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to clean the whole house, and I'm going to have, you know, within the 2 hour slot that I've got, I'm probably going to fail or not do that every morning, and therefore beat myself up and have a bad day. And the only person who's done that is me. So if you set yourself goals that are achievable, and you absolutely have to have aspirations, and you can visualize those aspirations, but they've got to be done. And that's why working with someone like Tom is so useful.
Yeah, interesting comment there from Hannah. She wants to achieve weight loss,
healthy nutrition, and to go with my brother to climb in the warehouse and lost it.
Hey!
I've wanted to go with my brother climbing for a long time this year for last for me. Nutrition motivation. And the thing with climbing, it gives you a lot of stuff. It gives you fear. And that's if you use that right, you know, that fight or flight. If you use it right, you can excel. If you let it overcome you, it can wash you out. And I used to teach on a Mad Mike's on an assault course in Bristol at the water park, and I would get people climbing 6-meter ropes, and we had a big 6-meter cargo tower, and I had people who had phobia of heights, and I would build them up to this 6-meter high tower, and they were like, "Oh, I'm really scared." I said, "No, that's not scared. That's fight or flight." I said, "Or if you call it fight or flight, you're thinking I want to fly." I changed the language, because language is massively important. And I said, that is called heightened sensory awareness, because you are sensory far more aware of impending doom. Or when you're at the top, I was up there with one guy for nearly 10 minutes, and we were just up there chatting away. And he had a fear of heights. It took probably 3 sessions to get him up there. And we just stood up there having a chat for about 10 minutes, just looking out over the lake and just chatting about stuff. I just went, "Should we get down there?" He went, "Yeah, all right." And he just looked straight down, got on the cargo net, and climbed down. And because
I think it also depends on what you call it yourself. So in sales, at the end of the sale is the close, and a lot of people worry about the close, therefore they're scared of the close, therefore they don't deliver the close or don't work to be able to deliver a close. And that fear actually is a good thing. It keeps you on your toes. It knows exactly what you're doing. And fear is very similar to excitement. You know, when you're excited, your heart's racing and you're nervous and all the rest of it. It's exactly the same with fear. So it's just understanding the fear and then learning that fear is actually a useful thing in business, as it is with climbing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be frightened of falling down. You know, you don't want to fall off a 6-meter high tower and break your neck. So, you know, you make sure that you're prepared and you're sensible and you've got the ropes correct and you're climbing with someone who knows what they're doing and all the rest of the good things that you do. And that's no different to business. And that's why the Cobra Club works so well, because, you know, we're all good and bad at different things. We're all scared of different things. But actually, if we work together as a team and actually plan it and know what we're doing and understand where we've got to get to and understand how to do it, actually, it isn't scary anymore, because you know you're safe.
And just leading from that and a thought I was just having as well. So no time is very much much over for myself. And this is the last thing I would probably say about finding something different in your training. If you are doing training and you are doing something over a long period of time, like business and your goal setting for the next year or so, or you're doing a marathon or an endurance walk or whatever it might be, and this is something I practice as well, do it as if it's the first time you've ever done it. So that first time you pick a barbell up many years ago, I still grab that barbell. I've been deadlifting for donkey's years. I still grab that barbell. I feel the knurling in my fingers. I feel the chalk, the dryness of my hand on it. I feel the bar squeeze into each little crease of my hand. And I imagine it's the first time I've ever lifted a barbell, because then it becomes a brand new experience. It becomes a brand new achievement. It's a bit deep. It's a bit holistic. It's a bit kind of over here, not here. If you can imagine the very first phone call, the very first close you've ever had in a business, and that first time you earned £1,000, if you have that feeling every time you're going to do something and you get that, what if they don't answer the phone? Enjoy the experience, because the experience, if it's brand new every time, you're going to be more hyped up about it. And if you're climbing and you're going rock climbing, outdoor climbing, indoor climbing,
you'll see me actually do it. When I'm nervous about doing something, I pinch my middle finger and my thumb together very hard. And I'm associating that feeling to success. So where I've actually delivered something successfully or closed or done whatever I need to do, I pinch my finger and I actually, because I go back to that feeling, and because I do it so often, it's an instant trigger to me to feel comfortable and to feel good and to take stock and actually move forwards. And it works.
And it makes the trick with that is it brings you present. You stop thinking of if it all goes terribly wrong, you're thinking, last time I made this phone call to this company, they were a bunch of that pinch or whatever it is you do, just like urea. It brings you to that very present moment. It brings you to the absolute present. You're like a tiger hunting its prey. A tiger doesn't think about the last time or the next time. It thinks solely of that one movement, that one pounce, that one chance it's got of getting a bit of dinner. And that's the trick with fitness, physical training, with business, I suppose. It's about being completely present at that time. Regardless of the outcome, treat it as an experience, as a new adventure, because you don't know the outcome until the outcome's happened. You don't know until you know, as I say to my wife many, many times. You don't know until you know. Okay? What do you know? Well, I don't know this. Well, do something about it and see what happens after that.
Yeah, that's really good advice, Tom.
So if I were to go back in time,
no, Ed.
I'm intrigued. I'm curious. I like the question already. Go on.
Go on.
If I were to go back in time and speak to the young Tom, I wonder what advice he would give for himself. Now, bear with me before you answer.
I'm intrigued.
Just sort of throw a curveball in there.
Go for it. It depends. Again, this kind of goes back through to, if you go on my Instagram or something, it goes back through to there are parts of my life and parts of who I was that they don't define me. If you'd met 21-year-old me who was boisterous and arrogant and built like a brick, barn, I was very fit. I was playing rugby twice a week. I was boxing twice a week. I was weightlifting. I was swimming. I had I would have just said, get in the gym and hurt, just make it work. You just keep going regardless. Dedication. I've been out working on the farm, been out working all day. Don't care. Get in the gym, 7 o'clock, you're there till 9. And that would have been it. That I would have been like, do a 5,000 meter row and then do a weight session, then do this and then do that. Don't make excuses. Getting on with it. Then a few years later, when I was 26, after a massive car crash, I had to completely rebuild all of my fitness. Because when I had the car crash, it damn near killed me. I was hit by a lorry at 30 miles an hour, 33-ton lorry. Hit me in the side of a van. I had to completely rebuild a fragmented mind and a broken body. So that advice would have been set really small goals. If you feel like going for a walk, go for a walk. If you feel like going 2 miles, do 2 miles. If you feel like doing 2.5, do 2.5. Completely the reverse from arrogant 21-year-old Tom who had anything, everything, summer mile, deadlifting 200 kg. It didn't matter. I didn't care what it was. 26-year-old Tom after a massive car crash. Be gentle. Focus on your mindset. Get the belief back. Be slow. Be gentle. Work through the range of movement. Make sure you warm up.
How would 26-year-old Tom have responded to you now? What advice would you have given that broken, fragmented mind, if you like, to able to...
This is getting deep now.
Yeah.
Well, in some senses, that broken Tom, because I'm not that Tom anymore, that Tom's a part of my memory. He's just a memory bank now. I would never say stop, because if you stop, you give in. You have to move forward, as my dad and Mr. Turton told me when I was 12 years old. You have to move forward. You've got to find a way. And my dad used to say, get on, getting on. You just get on with life. You get on with what's in front of you, and you take it and you move forward with it. That Tom, who 8 weeks before was doing 100 press-ups in 2 minutes, could barely do 3 press-ups.
Yeah.
To bring somebody and to bring myself through other things that happened as well, with alcohol and drugs and self-harming and PTSD, to rebuild that Tom, you had to be very gentle. He couldn't take much. He wasn't strong enough. But by building up a visualization plan, by building up a long-term life ambition goal, to have a bigger goal than was expected, to achieve that goal by hitting tiny little milestones, and to have a routine. 21-year-old Tom, I had to go to rugby, and I had to go to boxing, and I had to go swimming, because there were people there. I was in a team environment, I was in a solo environment, and swimming was my recovery. I was expected. Nobody expected me to rebuild my body after the car crash. I was broken. I had a punctured lung, 3 broken ribs, torn muscles, impact injury, inflamed heart lining. I was as good as dead as you could be. My family still get upset about me talking about it because I'm quite blasé, but I'm like, it's my experience, it's my pain, it was my suffering. But there you go, but you didn't see it. You didn't see how you changed. And that's the difference. A lot of that's blocked out through subconscious or through conscious action. So being new to fitness was an amazing adventure for me. And that goes back to, I still do it to this day as one of my coping strategies when I was training again. Let's do 5 press-ups. 1, 2, Christ, these are hard. But I didn't ever go back to, Christ, when I was 21, I could do 150 of these in a single session. You can't go back. You must only deal with what you have in front of you, and you must be totally present with who you are today. Who I was 10 years ago, an arrogant twat. Who I am today is better. He's healthier. He's happier in some respects. I'm very stoic.
That's why coming and speaking at places like the Cobra Club is so valuable, because you meet people who are. I mean, you can read a lot of things in books. And, every time you read a book on motivation, it makes sense because it's a motivational book, and yeah, great. But actually, to meet people who have been there, done it, and got the T-shirt, a flippant phrase, but actually means they can talk to you about you and have empathy and understand where you are to be able to move forwards. If you were still that 21-year-old built like Tarzan and achieving everything, it would be almost too daunting to someone like me, a big fat lump who's in his 50s, to actually interact with you. But the fact that you've been through that journey means that you're far more equipped to be able to have the empathy to understand where I am and what a success is for me, because you're not judging me anymore. You're judging it on Ed, not on 21-year-old, be playing superstar, because it's clearly I'm not going to be a 21-year-old playing for England rugby superstar, or unlikely. That's a goal I might not want to set myself. So it is really important to meet people and to talk to them. One of the lovely things about the club is you can come and meet you and judge you and work with you actually for free as part of the Cobra Club. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, you can track me down on most social media platforms, of Thomas Bassett or Tom Bassett or Instagram. I'm not very good at social media. I'm terrible at social media. I keep getting people asking me what a social media manager. I'm like, I don't know what is.
It's all about little steps, Tom.
Yes.
It's sort of like getting up in the morning and doing little steps.
That first post of the morning. Do you know, I have a no phone hour. From the time I get up until I'm doing something, I do not look at any social media for the first hour of the day, because that would disrupt me making my bed. I get distracted by pictures of dogs. You know, it will distract me from my day. And I think with many things, especially with the Cobra Club, you get, you'll get free access to me if you join a Cobra Club. This sounds like a sales pitch now. It's not, which is a wonderful way of starting, because you get the whole industry behind you of Andrew and Ed yourselves. And I've met some wonderful people through Cobra, like Kath Kirkland's been an absolute legend for me. She helped me write my first book. And I have a book on Amazon. Again, it's another way of getting hold of me. So, and there are some wonderful people there. And it is about experience.
If you'd gone back to 21-year-old Tom and said, you're going to write a book, you probably would have said, nah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's a different set of goals.
He would have made the excuse, I'm dyslexic and I'm left-handed, I can't read a book. And then 36-year-old, 37-year-old me was, I'm dyslexic, I'm left-handed, I'm studying a degree, I'm writing a book. I've achieved more than I've ever achieved in my life. And I've done some incredible physical feats. And that 21-year-old Tom would have been like, I'm indestructible. I'm a rubber duck. You can't hurt me. Everything bounces off me. You can't hurt me. A lorry will hurt you, Tom. Nah. But that was, there's a whole other part of that, which isn't really for this conversation. But
I think I just want to sort of say, because we're rapidly running out of time.
I have noticed it's
massively over, but not to worry. So obviously group coaching, one-to-one fitness consultant, support with fitness, getting back into fitness. You're the man. Highly recommend your service. Obviously, life-led, gone through sort of all sorts of ups and downs. And I think it's been a fantastic session today. And we look forward to it. Yeah, it's been great. And thanks for coming on the show. I've learned a lot. It's been inspirational. And I think we're going to dwell on that tonight a bit, and
well, the classes with Cobra start on Monday at 10:30.
Fantastic. Let me just show
they are there. You just rock up. Andrew's going to give me a nice room, and you can come in and you can chat to me. And if you don't want to chat, I'll just babble about something, and then you can. If it inspires you, great. If it doesn't inspire you, come back next week because it might inspire you.
Yeah,
and it's about hitting that routine.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much for today. It's been great. Really enjoyed it. Yeah. So say goodbye to Tom. There he is, Mrs. Thomas Bassett, All Aspect Fitness. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Take care. See you soon.
Down to the wire.
Wow.
Tom's an inspiration, isn't he?
Yeah, no, it was really good. Not sure where Zaf is, so if you're out there, Zaf,
We love you.
we love
Hope you
you.
get
We'll see
closing
you
a
some other time. So we've only got literally 4 or 5 minutes, Ed.
Yeah.
But you know, there's always one question I want to ask you, and I have this inkling every week to get more wisdom from young Ed.
Okay, I'm going to talk about something really straightforward, and it makes so much sense, but people get it wrong. And that is, you set a meeting for 10 o'clock, be it physical, be it online, doesn't matter. When do you turn up? So some sales guys will say we turn up early because I want to show I'm really keen. Your client won't remember that you turned up, unless you turn up like 3 hours early, but they won't remember that you turned up early. Some guys say, I'll turn up late because that gives me something to talk about when I walk into the room. Oh, the traffic, etc. Your client will remember you for being late. Okay? You don't want to be remembered as the late person. Actually, the best time to turn up is the time that you set the appointment for. So if you set an appointment for 10, turn up at 10. That's what you want to have when you walk into a room. You don't want you to be the first conversation that comes in. You want them to be the first part of the conversation that turns in. So if you set an appointment for 10, turn up at 10. If you set it for 11, turn up at 11. Doesn't matter. Turn up on time. Don't turn up early. Don't turn up late. Be punctual. It's the way you want to be remembered. There you go. That's my good piece of advice this morning. But people get very confused with it, and it's
yeah. I mean, the worst thing about rocking up early, 10 minutes early, is that now they've got to deal with you, or someone else has got to deal with you.
Well, you have to remember. I mean, I've sold in lots of different environments. Whether I'm selling in someone's home or selling in their office, the experience, and we were talking about Tom about nerves and about being worried about things, etc. So sales guys will say, or business people, I'm nervous. I'm going to an appointment. Absolutely, you're nervous. I totally get that. Use those nerves to give a good presentation, but also have empathy with the person you're going to see. I guarantee they're just as nervous as you. To have someone coming into your space that that isn't normally there is a nerve-wracking thing. And they're going through all the different scenarios in their head. He's going to try and sell to me. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. Am I going to like the guy? Go on. I've got problems. Do I want to tell him? So they're going through all this as well. Have empathy with your client and do what you said you're going to do. That's what your client's going to measure you by. Will you deliver what you say you're going to deliver? So if you turn up on time, you've already started in the right frame of mind, rather than starting in the wrong frame of mind. And just have empathy. So that's my biggest tip for the day. But you can get more of my tips if you want to. I share them on the Circle, so we've got a social media platform, which is really good at the Cobra Club. And I would encourage anybody to download it. You can download it on Google or on the App Store now. It's called the Circle, and Circle is almost like a Facebook sort of platform, but in the Cobra Club. So people like myself and Tom, etc., we share the motivational things that we do or the advice that we give for free on the Circle, so you can watch it in your own time. If I've got a question I want to ask, or if I want some motivation, I go to the Circle to get. Okay, and so it's an instant form in my own lounge that I can chat to people and ask questions, etc., without that sort of fear of judgment, etc. So yeah, it's another just benefit of the Cobra Club, which is that we're omnipresent. We're there all the time.
And just a quick update: we had this event last week, which is the Wonder Women Ladies Business Networking event, run by the incredible Louise Montblanc. Fantastic, loads of people were there.
Such good feedback afterwards as well from that one.
Yeah, so anyone out there looking for ladies networking, that's happening at the Cobra Club too. So much going on. Just come and check us out, www.thecobraclub.co.uk. But I think, Ed, we're out of time. Next week we've got the incredible...
No, Andrew, no, we're not out of time. Because in the Cobra Club, there are lots of people who are very special. And each week, I like to know who your hero of the week is, Andy. Who's your hero of the week this week? Right. I think we need to know. Sorry, who's your hero of the week, Andy?
My hero of the week is Natalie King. So Natalie King, the confidence coach, incredible lady, and she helps entrepreneurs who suffer from sort of confidence or anxiety break down and through those barriers, and get better results. And she runs a goal workshop. Here she is here, actually. Let's put her up on screen. There she is. So she helps, set goals and get to work and accountability. But the main part of her business is confidence. So if you're an entrepreneur out there and you suffer with confidence, highly recommend Natalie King, the confidence coach. So she is my hero of the week.
I totally recommend her. She's great. And she was actually at the Wonder Woman event as well. So, you could have met her and spent some time with her. She gave a talk.
Yeah, inspirational lady. And, on occasions, some people more than others, they suffer with confidence and anxiety. So, there is that support structure within.
We all do. Even the most successful people suffer from it. And just to be able to set your own goals, a bit like Tom, really, with that sporting goal, which, for one man might be to run 10,000 kilometers in the morning, and for another man might be to walk to the end of the garden gate and back. But everybody needs that goal setting and that motivation to be able to succeed. It's great.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Ed. Great to see you all. We see you all next week with the incredible Julie Donkin on the show live. That's going to be
Julie the Donkin.
Yeah.
She's great.
All right. See you guys.
Now you're watching me, yeah, all eyes on me, 'cause I've been living the good life. So come fly with me into my fantasy, and we be loving the good life, good life.
I think this dream now just hit me. Why don't you just go there with me? Surf in the skies and splash in the clouds, dance in the crowds and laugh out loud. Holding your hand, unfolding a plan. Two souls in a land like gold in a pan. Float in the breeze or soak in the sea. Come go there with me where we both wanna be. Lie on the beach or fly in the streets. I'm trying to keep this vine in the reach. Putting everything I do aside, me and you are first. We can travel to the very end of the universe. You and me are meant to be divine energy. Living with no rules in a pool of serenity. Come be my fantasy, go away with me. Lock us up in the dream and throw away the key. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. We need to rise with these new eyes. Pull the disguise off of these blue skies. Lights of the city reflect off the shoreline. When you're living this life, you want more time. Rewind the time, align planets. Ride this comet to a new dynamic. Your eyes on me, mine on you. Living the good life, we do what we want to.